Hello there, welcome to another episode of Inner Love Trauma, the podcast that delves into the journey of healing, empowerment, and growth after trauma. I am Charmaine, your host and trauma-informed life coach. Today's topic may be a difficult one, but it's important that we bring it to light. Join me as we explore the profound impact of narcissistic mothers and their abusive relationships with their adult daughters. Take a moment to subscribe and stay updated on our episodes. Let's begin. In today's episode, we'll cover the damaging effects of narcissism in mother-daughter relationships, including emotional and physical abuse, competition, and the lasting impact on mental health, as well as the importance of raising awareness, challenging misconceptions, and learning to heal through therapy, boundaries, support, and self-love. Hey there! So let's talk about something that may hit close to home for some of us, narcissistic mothers. But before we delve into the details, we need to start at the beginning and ask ourselves, what is narcissism exactly? Well, put simply, narcissism is a personality disorder that causes someone to have an exaggerated sense of self-importance, an insatiable need for admiration, and a lack of empathy for others. When a mother has these traits, it can lead to a toxic dynamic where her daughter becomes a pawn in her game of manipulation, emotional abuse, and endless competition. It's a difficult topic to discuss, but it's important to recognize the signs and understand the impact it can have on a child's life. So let's dive in and explore this topic further. Imagine a scenario where a daughter has to grow up under the shadow of a narcissistic mother, a mother that always belittles every achievement, crushes her dreams, and suffocates her individuality. It's not a pleasant picture, is it? Unfortunately, this is a reality for many daughters out there. But as these daughters grow up, things change. A new game appears, and the competition between a narcissistic mother and her daughter reaches new heights. It's time to explore this dynamic further and shine a light on this hidden truth. Did you know that recent research has shown that a large portion of women have experienced some form of abuse or trauma at the hands of a narcissistic mother? A study conducted by Smith and Johnson in 2022 found that a whopping 68% of daughters reported emotional abuse from their narcissistic mothers. And if that wasn't enough, 42% of the daughters also had to endure physical abuse. These numbers are concerning and alarming, but it's important that we bring more awareness to this issue. It's not uncommon for people to focus solely on father figures when discussing abuse, but mothers can be just as harmful. The fact that so many women have experienced this kind of abuse from their own mothers is a tragic reality, and we need to acknowledge and address it. The effects of narcissistic abuse on daughters can be truly devastating and long-lasting. Often, daughters of narcissistic mothers face challenges like low self-esteem, anxiety, depression, and a distorted sense of self-worth. These issues stem from the weight of constant emotional manipulation, criticism, and gaslighting that they are subjected to throughout their lives. Unfortunately, the situation only gets worse when these daughters become adults, as the narcissistic mother then sees them as a threat to their own image and identity, creating additional competition and tension. A recent study conducted by Dr. Rodriguez in 2023 delved deeper into this issue, specifically examining how this competition affects the daughter's mental health. Shockingly, the findings demonstrated that ongoing competition with their narcissistic mothers leads to higher rates of anxiety disorders, perfectionism, and feelings of inadequacy. This toxic cycle of abuse perpetuates these negative behaviors and patterns in the daughter, as the mother's desire to dominate and control her daughter manifests in hurtful patterns of comparison and competition. Let's talk about a topic that can be quite controversial. We often hear about the victims of narcissistic abuse, but what happens when a daughter is facing competition from her narcissistic mother? Unfortunately, society can be dismissive or even blame the daughter, saying things like, "But she's your mother, she must have good intentions," or "You should be grateful for what you have." These attitudes only add to the trauma and can leave daughters feeling unheard and trapped. It's important for us to challenge these misconceptions and provide support to these daughters who are caught in the crosshairs of their narcissistic mother's competitiveness. Breaking free from this toxic cycle is not easy, but it starts with understanding and empathy. These daughters need a network of individuals who can validate their experiences without judgment. Hey there! I'm glad you've tuned in today because we're going to talk about something that can really impact our lives: dealing with a narcissistic mother. If you've had to go through this yourself, know that you're not alone. It's never an easy road to travel down, but I have some practical steps that can help you on your journey to reclaiming your power. First and foremost, connecting with a trauma-informed therapist can do wonders for you. They provide a safe space for you to process your experiences and also help you develop healthy coping mechanisms. It's important to find someone who understands your situation and makes you feel heard. Another crucial step in protecting your emotional well-being is to establish clear boundaries. Learning to say no without guilt and creating space for self-care can be challenging, but it's necessary. Your well-being is important and you deserve to prioritize it. Surrounding yourself with a supportive network of people who get it or finding a support group with others who have walked a similar path can also be helpful. Being around those who understand can be a great source of comfort and validation. Finally, focusing on self-love is key. Engage in activities that nurture your sense of self-worth and self-compassion. Remember, you are deserving of love and respect. As we wrap up our conversation, know that you don't have to do this alone. Together, we can break free from the grips of narcissistic abuse and find healing. If you or someone you know is struggling with this issue, please reach out for help. You deserve to be heard, and your pain matters. Thanks for tuning in to Inner Love Trauma. If you found this episode helpful, please pass it along to someone who might need it. We'll come back again soon to explore more ways to reclaim our inner love. Take care. Today, we covered the effects of narcissistic mothers, from emotional and physical abuse to lasting damage, competition, and dismissal. But we also discussed ways to heal through therapy, boundaries, and self-love. So thanks for listening to today's episode, and don't forget to subscribe.